Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at page 20 in your lesson book. So go on ahead and open up to page 20 and you'll see at the top in that yellow box that it says we are talking about eighth notes today. Eighth notes. We've probably heard about this in music class, but we're going to break it down a little bit and then start playing them on your instrument. So in the purple box, I have the three different ways that you might see eighth notes in now and in the near future. This book only uses two of them, so I'll show you those first. This is the way that you're probably most used to seeing them, which is in a pair of two. But you should know that this as a whole is not called an eighth note. This is called two eighth notes. So there's one and two. Okay? This is what you'll see most often. It's what they show in the yellow box in page 20. You can also see eighth notes grouped in groups of four, like this. You might think that that looks like 16th notes, which you also learned in music class, but a 16th note has an extra line, an extra beam across from it. So if you see one beam, those are still called eighth notes. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. We don't see a single eighth note on page 20, but if you were curious of what it looked like, this is what a single eighth note looks like by itself. And we'll see that later. It will be probably next year when we get to the second lesson book. So those are the three ways you can see your eighth notes. If you take a look in the yellow box, they show a group of two eighth notes, and they also show all the way on the right side a group of four eighth notes. Looking at up here with the counting, because they show you different ways to count. We worked on this last year where you had four quarter notes and you gave them each a number and you called them 1, 2, 3, 4. When we play a measure full of eighth notes, we keep the 1, 2, 3, 4, but we call the extra notes and. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you look at number 66 in the lesson book, they've written out the counting for you underneath. And you can see that for the quarter notes, they still wrote the and, but you wouldn't say it. So for example, for the first measure of number 66, you would count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So because the last two notes are quarter notes, you don't need to say the and. Okay, you can say it in your head, but you don't need to say it out loud. So if we were to count all of number 66, it would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, rest. So you probably noticed the first three measures are identical. The last measure is similar, but there's a rest at the end. So this is one of those rhythm raps. We did these last week with the rosin, with the different bow directions. So for this one, there isn't a note, a pitch written. So we're just going to pick a note to play. So we'll play page 66, number 66, with our open D string. Okay. So bow right on the D string. Starts on a down bow. That means your bow is going this way to the right. 1 and 2, and here we go. Awesome. Okay, looking at number 67 now, you'll notice that the rhythm for 67 is the same as the rhythm we just played in 66. Now we're just adding fingers, adding different notes. And if you look carefully, it's just a backwards D major scale. So we start on high D and go all the way down to low D. This one is called pepperoni pizza because the rhythm 1 and 2 and 3, 4 that you play quite often, if you put words to it, it could be pepperoni pizza. So we're thinking that in our head as we play this. So let's play 67. We're going to set down our fingers for high D. So if you're a violin, it's 3 fingers. If you're a viola, it's also 3 fingers. Cello, 4 fingers. And bass, it's 4 fingers, but you have to shift up to third position for that note. Here we go, 67. Ready, and here we go. Awesome. Moving on to 68, another rhythm rap. So let's go through and say the rhythm, and then we'll play it on an open string. So here's 68. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's play it. This time, let's use our open A string. Our open A string. So ready, and here we go. Awesome. Moving down to the D major scale warm up, you can see this has the same rhythm that we just played, but now we're putting down fingers. And this one, if you look carefully, is just a D major scale on the way up. So starting on open D and ending on that high D. So let's give this one a try. Ready, and here we go. Great. All right, if you really wanted a challenge, you could actually play the D major scale warm-up, and then as soon as you're done with that, play the pepperoni pizza on the way down. That would be kind of a cool way to play your D major scale. Moving on to 70, hot cross buns. This should be a melody that you recognize, and you can see it uses quarter notes and eighth notes. And this is an example where we get to see those eighth notes in groups of 4. So let's give this one a try. This only uses 3 notes, which is kind of nice, because I know we don't have the helper notes on this one. We have to really read the music. So it uses F sharp, E, and D, and that's it. There aren't any other notes for this one. So let's give 70 a try. So we're setting down our fingers for F sharp. If you're a violin or a viola, that's 2 fingers. If you're a cello, that's 3, and if you're a bass, it's 4. A little bit different for everyone here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Rest. Awesome, very good. And ending with number 71. This was probably the most challenging of all of them here. We're using our eighth notes. We're making sure we really can read these notes on the D string. Although this one, if you look, also only has 3 notes. It uses F sharp, E, and D. So we're just working with these 3 notes for right now. And let's do this one one measure at a time. So I'm going to start by doing just measure 1. And it looks like my notes are D, 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 E, F sharp, E, and my rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So we have to move that bow a little bit more for those quarter notes because it's a longer note. It's going to sound like this. Try it with me again. Here we go. Moving on to the next measure, there's a skip in this in the notes here, which makes it a challenge. D, F sharp, E, E, D. D, F sharp, E, E, D. It sounds like this. Try it with me. Here we go. Do both measures together. We're going to put them together here. Ready, and here we go. Nice job. Over that rest, you'll see this symbol. We talked about it last year, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it this year. Where can I put it? I'm going to put it right here. That symbol, which is called a retake. So after you play that D, you have to pick your bow up and bring it back down to the frog because we're getting ready to play another down bow. So it's 2 down bows in a row. And if you look at measures 3 and 4, you'll notice that measures 3 and 4 are identical to 1 and 2. So we're just playing the same thing twice. So let's see if we can do all of 71, getting all the correct notes, but also catching that retake at the end of measure 2. Okay. Bow on the D string, getting my fingers ready. Ready, and here we go. Retake. Awesome. So your homework for this week is 66 through 71, practicing those eighth notes and also practicing playing those notes without having a helper note to remind us of what pitches we're playing. At our lesson, we might also take a look at page 21. So if you want to look ahead, you can, but really focus on 66 through 71, and I'll see you at your lesson.